He's a radio pioneer and legend. Fred Bugs, please step to the mic and give respect. Give respect to Fred, y'all. Come on, make some noise.
Thank you, Wiz. How's everybody this afternoon, all right? You know, it's just absolutely amazing when you saw that footage and you see Jay-Z before the Nets. You see Biggie, Dean Dash when he still had a job with Jay-Z. You know, I mean, you just can't say enough about what Rob has been able to do throughout his years and with his career. And he comes from a family, I don't know if you know this, but Ralph's family were entrepreneurs. They had stores in Queens, coming from Brooklyn and in Queens, and he kept that entrepreneurial spirit alive. My brother turned me on to rap. My brother and my brother-in-law, they kept telling me about this guy that was playing on Springfield Boulevard in Queens Village. We lied, we called it Hollis, but it was really Queens Village. We called it Hollis because we wanted to be down on the other side of Francis Lewis Boulevard. But he was at this club called the Blue Ice, and he was rocking the parties on a regular. At the time, I was in Philadelphia working, and when I came home, I would go to the club and watch this guy, and he was just amazing. And shortly thereafter, the television show hit, and I was back in New York at PLS, and I would make an appointment to watch the show. When I was playing hooky from work, we would try to find somebody, what was on Video Music Box today? What is he playing? What is he playing new? When we look at what happened at MTV, MTV Raps, when we look at BET, because, you know, there were a lot of black-owned properties, broadcasting-wise, that didn't embrace hip-hop. In the 80s, I mean, even back in '85, didn't want to embrace hip-hop, didn't want to play hip-hop on the air. And BET were one of those operations. I mean, I'm not knocking them, but real is real. And the only way in this city we had an opportunity to see the up-and-coming stars, the only way a lot of these up-and-coming stars became stars is through Ralph McDaniels. We talk about Fat Joe from time to time. We love Joe. But Joe says something there. He goes, "You've got all, my mother loves watching your show." You know, because when people speak sometime on the camera, it's not that his mother really watches the show. What Joe was thinking about, the second line, "You have all the footage." And that's true. When you watch the hip-hop honor shows, when you watch some of these documentaries that they do on MTV, BET, and various hip-hop shows that go back in history, they get this footage from this man right here. Something that I read yesterday, it was in one of the local papers, Afro-American or something, and Greg Nice said that when they were coming through, because, you know, they didn't want to have budgets for hip-hop artists in the beginning of a lot of labels. Like a lot of labels, they just felt all we got to do is put the records out and they'll play automatically. And there are only about 18 rap records anyway. And so when it came time for the rap artists to get videos done, the labels didn't want to come up with a budget to do that. So there really wasn't much money to have a video done. And Greg Nice said that what Ralph would do was keep the camera over the weekend and cut the cost, you know, by about 100%. And just work throughout the weekend, and they would do the Spanish version of their songs and the B-side of the songs and everything else. So we'd pretty much amp up, him and Vic Kid would pretty much amp up like about 5 to 6 videos over a weekend. And that's what you call integrity. It's the same integrity he has now. Whether you hear him on Hot 97, whether you hear him on Kiss FM, whether you see him on Video Music Box, one thing for sure, Ralph has crossed that bridge to connect the old with the new. And man, you better continue doing it because you keep me young in everything that you do. All the best to you, Ralph, you and your family. Much love.
Thank you again, Fred Bugsy Bugs. Please give him a round of applause. DJ Wiz will be conducting an interview with Ralph McDaniels, and DJ Wiz is the legendary producer and DJ of Kid and Play. So let's give it up for DJ Wiz and
What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? The first thing that comes to mind is like, you know, people are wondering like, why is this stuff never seen? And why is this not revealed to the world? And this is why you're a treasure to this whole legacy of hip hop, because you have so much to show everybody about the origins and the beginnings of people like Jay-Z and Biggie and Fat Joe and Kid and Play and Dana Dane, who's in the building. Give it up for Dana Dane. Dana Dane's first video, Nightmares, first place ever seen or played. That's right. Ralph McDaniels. That's right. Okay? So, you know, I just want to say that, you know, you have footage from live shows, from release parties, you've directed, produced videos, you know, Big Daddy Kane, MC Light, how many classic concepts, you know, the man, along with Vid Kid, Lionel Martin, let's give it up for Lionel Martin as well. This tag team right here has, they pretty much just planted the seed for all of us to still be eating today of hip hop, the multi-billion-dollar culture that's around the world, you know, but this day right here, we have to salute and show how this was brought forth, you know. We can always look at MTV, we can always look at BET and whatever other cable networks, but the real origin was Ralph McDaniels' Channel 31, because like they were saying, you know, Ralph cuts the cost and Ralph gives people the shot. Ralph plays the videos that nobody would take a chance. Ralph played Wu-Tang Clan. He was the first people to play Wu-Tang Clan. Understand? Right. So without this man, a lot of us just wouldn't be here. Plain and simple. So salute to you, number one. So let me ask you, Ralph. 25, 27, almost 30 years later.
27 years. We started in 1983. I was influenced by American Bandstand, Soul Train, Soul, which used to come on Channel 13 with a guy named Ellis Hazlett. A couple other shows that came on late now. I really date myself if I tell you. But
can y'all hear Ralph? Can y'all hear?
Yeah. Yeah. But Video Music Box to me was an opportunity to be part of. You know, when we first started out, if you look at the opening of Video Music Box, it was Bob Marley, Run DMC, Madonna, Bernard Wright, James Brown, Prince. You know, it was pretty diverse in what was happening in the 80s. I had the opportunity to come up with a show that was in the 80s. The 80s was a great time for music because there was so much different music that was out there. So that was a gift right there. It was just a big variety of music that we could choose from. And I knew that, you know, I went to school for film and television, and I knew that I could put something together that would do what I've been doing all along, like Bugsy talked about. You know, I was in the clubs, DJing and stuff. I was doing, you know, parties and all kinds of things like that. So this was really just an extension of that. I didn't want to be on TV. I didn't want to be on the screen. I didn't want to be seen or anything like that. I just wanted to just put this show together of music that I like and also document what was going on in my community. So I knew there was a balance. Like it was almost like, you know we could give information as well as entertainment, and that's what it was all about. I'm a revolutionary, really. You know, at the end of the day, you know, I think that there's an opportunity for us to use music and entertainment to get, you know, social information across and better our community. And I've always been, I guess that's just the way I grew up. You know, my father was like that. And so any opportunity that I can have to better my community, either if it was me growing up in Brooklyn and as a teenager moving to Queens and understanding, like when I first moved on my block in Queens, we were the second black family. Like, the first time I got called a nigga was on my block in Queens. And I was like, I didn't even know what nigga meant. I just knew it wasn't good.
Right.
You know, so I just was like, wow.
The tone was crazy.
Yeah, it just didn't feel right. And the dude who called me a nigga ended up later on being one of my friends, but, you know, I don't even think he knew what it meant. You know, it was just something that came from his parents, probably, you know. And, but, yeah, that was the beginning of me understanding what this is all about. And all of that Video Music Box is just kind of like a buildup of watching Soul Train, of watching, you know, Dick Clark, of watching, you know, LSA Slip, of watching all of this stuff, boom, rolled into it. And then now, you know, there's all of this music that's out. When we first started doing Video Music Box, and in between them, my boy, Russell Simmons, is running around, Rush, is running around doing parties, and you know, we know each other and everything's happening. He's coming, he's a record promoter, he's bringing me records. That was what he was doing at the time. And then he was like, you know, I'm gonna put out, you know, some music, and I was going to this little office he had in downtown Manhattan and watching, you know, the beginning of what would be hip hop, you know, at that level. You know, I was already a part of hip hop in the parks, but now the commercialization of hip hop and to watch it then turn into what it is, and he managed everybody. You know, he had all the artists. You know, Rush Artist Management. So that was, hip hop was a revolution. You know, it was a movement. You know, it was anti-establishment. Right. It was anti-business. It was anti-everything that, you know, America wanted you to be. It was against that. But it was totally what America is all about. That's what hip hop represents. Freedom.